Hey, Ravings and Cravings here, otherwise known as Ruth Hartunian Allenbaugh, with a new show brought to you by the Wyndham Economic and Community Development folks, foodie people, and businesses from all over our listening area and even beyond. Today I am here with Jay Riera, who is also known as Chef Jay and co-owner of Jay's. She's going to talk to us about her business and about the people she works with. So welcome to you, Jay. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. We are actually recording this at my dining room table.
Yay.
Yay. And she has her Wonder Woman mug with coffee, so she's really ready to go. I don't really think you really needed that for this interview because I think you came in the door ready, right?
Oh, yeah. Always ready.
Well, let's start at the beginning and give us the full name of your business and organization, your address, location, phone number, where people can find you on social media, all the details stuff at the beginning.
All right. Sounds good. So we go by Jay's. I know we're known by many different names. We've got tagged with catering at the back of Jay's, trays at the back of Jay's, but we do go by Jay's. It's more of our brand. We don't have a permanent address right now, but we are working out of the community commercial kitchen and click in Willimantic. It's been so great being a part of that kitchen, and we're going on a little over a year now. And it's just been great. We are always at Rec Park. We've been looking at breweries and stuff like that. So, you know, we're not necessarily obviously have set hours and stuff, but we're working on that. That's our next process. So as of now, you know, if you go to any of our social media, it'll be Jay's with 2 Y's and an underscore if you're going to Instagram, or you can just search Jay's on Facebook and we'll definitely pop up in your search. And on our link in our bio, it gives you kind of like where you can cater inquiries, and it also has our schedule. You click on that, it gives you a calendar, and it shows you everywhere that we're going to be.
Nice.
So, you know, most of the time we were found these last couple of months at Rec Park for the Wyndham softball females. We did those twice a week, and we actually just got asked by New England Kings Baseball AAU organization, I believe it's called, to stop by for their 3 home games that they're hosting because they just began an AAU team for baseball.
Right. So when you say stop by, that doesn't mean you're showing up with a few bags and you're passing them out. What does that mean when you stop by?
We are pulling up with our truck, and we're there for the beginning to the end.
Woo-hoo.
A food truck, yes. It's our new thing.
Happy
I know a lot of
things.
people seen us in the tent and, you know, busting butt around the table and setups and propane fryers, but we've been grateful to have a food trailer, and, you know, we've been up and running since about mid-July and have done great events, even just at Jilson, from the Wyndham Expo and the backpack giveaway to, you know, anything the community lets us be a part of.
So to me, the food truck is kind of like, maybe you're too young to remember this movie series called Doctor Who, but he has this thing that he goes into called a TARDIS, and it looks like a little phone booth, but when he goes in, it's like this big, huge, expansive space. So food truck, small space, right? But what kind of food are you pumping out of that thing?
Well, I love to say we're street food. You know, I love flavor. Everything has to be flavor. I like to eat, and you know, a lot of people are not set in their ways, but they know things and they're familiar with things. You know, like a Philly cheesesteak and you know, your broccoli Alfredo and stuff like that. So we try to take things that are similar to people and give them a grab and go flavorful version of it. So like for the cheesesteak, our biggest seller on our food truck that we sell out of every time we are anywhere is our Philly cheesesteak egg rolls.
What?
I serve them with an egg roll.
Wait a second. So I have to think about, like, what does that look like?
It looks like an egg roll, and you cut it open.
So
and
it's like wrapped in. It's the cheesesteak inside of a crunchy wrapped.
Yes.
Crunchy, salty.
Yep, and with a spicy sauce to dip it in.
So okay, so the sauce, like, what kind of sauce is this?
So it's our chipotle aioli. So, you know, obviously when you think of cheesesteak, you're thinking cheese, you're thinking your veggies, you're thinking your cheesesteak meat, and your mayonnaise. And so, you know, I like spice. I like to balance everything and, you know, take a little mayonnaise, throw some spice in it, add a little lime, add a little seasoning.
Ooh,
and
lime.
Yes. I gotta have my acid.
Why didn't you bring one with you?
Those are like have to be fresh made.
Yeah, you can't, like, and of course, nobody has leftovers of that stuff, right?
No, never.
So that is a bestseller from your truck. What else
Yes.
can we get off your truck?
Oh, another thing we are very known for is our empanadas. We offer them in 3 different proteins, especially because, you know, you've got your vegetarians out there, some people who don't do their red meat. So we offer them in beef, chicken, and potato, but we treat them all the same, season them all the same. And, you know, so that's a big hit. We do a crunchy taco quesadilla, which is basically, again, you know, people love their tacos, so that's our version of our taco. I make a taco seasoning, you know, corn and black bean. I put it in between a quesadilla with some tortilla chips for your crunch, because, like I said, I gotta have balance, gotta have crunch, gotta have acid. You'll learn that. You'll learn that.
Salt, and a little. Is there a little sweet in there at all?
No sweet.
Not in that one.
Actually, our elote crema, which goes on our street corn that everybody likes, I actually drizzle that on top because I'm a sauce snob, and that kind of not necessarily has sweetness, but it's gonna have your creaminess, and again, your lime goes in there, so you've got a little bit of acidity, but it also has a spice in there as well, so you kind of get your little kick with your creaminess. It's a full balance.
So where do you get all these incredibly creative, tasty ideas from? Where do they come from?
No idea. You know, I mean, I like to eat, and I've gone to a lot of food trucks, and even the 2 years that I spent in Colorado, where we originally began toying with this business, you know, it's just, you see people's foods, and you see different versions of them, and, you know, my mom's always got the cooking channel on in her house. Even if she's not watching it, the dog can be home by itself, and it's the cooking channel. So it's, you know, it's just a matter of, you just kind of see things and cool tricks by other chefs, and the reaction that people are giving these people, and you just kind of get interested and kind of jot down notes. And when I go to do things like on the fly, or put a special that might need a sauce, and I run the special for one day, but somebody gives me a feedback, then the next day I'm like, all right, I'm going to run this special, but I'm going to add this to it. And it's just kind of a matter of just, again, a balance. I like balance. I like flavor. And, you know, I listen to a lot of people talk about the acid. I listen to people talk about, like you say, the sweetness. And it's just, it really makes sense. It's what makes sense. It's food science, and science is behind everything. And
it is. And it's
how it goes.
Food is kind of like a palette. It's just kind of blank and boring until you start messing with it.
Exactly.
Adding different colors and flavors. And visually, when I was still writing stories for the local newspaper, and I did a story about Jay's Trays, I enjoyed a lot of wonderful food that looked beautiful, and it also tasted incredible. So, like, looks and taste, I mean, that's like the dynamic duo there.
Oh yeah, because you eat with your eyes first, and it was just, it actually amazed me when you were picking through everything, and you were, is that this that I see in this? And then when you hit me with there's dill in this, I was just like, it's great for people to recognize something like that, because, you know, little ingredients like that kind of really do make a big difference. And you just, agree. Until you learn to mess with them, and you know the flavor, and, you know, do and don'ts, you just would never know. It's
what else comes off that truck? There's more than that. I know
there's always more. I mean, so speaking of balance, our Triple B grilled cheese, it's actually named after my little sister. Her name is Binya, so it's Binya's barbecue, but we kind of shortened it.
Okay, got it.
The cheese blend, actually, I'm a cheese head, and I use 3 different types of cheeses, but the only one people normally really know is the cheddar. But I put a sweet cheese on there, and then I get your nutty cheese from, I believe, Gruyere is how it's said.
Really?
And then you put your cheddar on there. House-made barbecue sauce. And
okay, what's your next gig so I can show up? Do you know when it is?
I'm trying to think.
Okay, so when I go to
the 15th, I think it's Thursday is our next, like, big one locally.
Will you have that one?
Oh, yes. That one is our number one on the first menu before our quesadilla, before our egg rolls.
Oh, man. Well, and I think this show's going to air after the third Thursday. Bummer. But I know it is where you will be. So.
Exactly. Yeah. But, I mean, and we got that. We have the Eastern concert coming up. Gilson Square with Young Gravy. I always say his name wrong. Young Gravy. And then, you know, we're able to do the Woodstock Marathon, first ever Woodstock Marathon on April 30th. And at that point, we were still popped up within a tent. But that one event got us out in that area so much that we are constantly at Taylor Brook Brewery, partnering up with them. We're actually doing Woodstock Academy's Homecoming coming up, which is cool. We've done a couple of summer concert series out there. So we just... expanding, and just every time we do pop up in a town, we're always invited back, and the feeling of that is just so great. And I'm just trying to feed everybody, like you said, locally and beyond.
Well, and that means people like you.
Yes, yeah, the feedback is great. I mean, it's still kind of somewhat like unreal, and you know, even though you've might have heard it before, even just hearing it again and hearing it again, even if it's on the same thing, it just makes me feel good. You know, some of these days, you know, even if like third Thursday, for instance, we pop up for 3 hours, but I am busy from 6 in the morning till 10 at night. Now, sometimes even later than that, because Street Fest ends at 9. And that whole day, you know, there's some days that can be a little bit more difficult, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's just great. It makes me feel like this is exactly why we're doing it. The faces, even, you know, they'll walk away and come back and just be like, I needed to stop by and just say good job. Even a thumbs up makes me happy, and just it's exciting. Yes, we had Taylor Brook again. We were there, and I had a couple who was told they were visiting the winery, which is right up the hill from the brewery. They were told we were down there. They came down. They ate, and about 30 minutes later, the couple was leaving, and I seen a car come speeding into this dirt driveway. I'm talking dust in the air and everything like that, and it's this couple. And the wife jumps out and just starts bowing. Oh my God. And the goosebumps, at first I was like, why are they pulling up on me like this? But the goosebumps that I got, and just the warmth in my heart is just like, it's great, because, you know, these are people who mention that they always cook at home, because sometimes when you go out, you can't, you know, enjoy your food.
Right.
And so that type of response is just everything.
Wow. So again, if people want to contact you, if they want to try your food, the best places to go are where?
So, again, our Facebook or our Instagram, you just search Jay's, 2 Y's. One of our Facebook pages, also, you might see the Little Red Trailer, because that's kind of what we named our trailer, just for ha-has, because I had to buy a big truck to pull it, and for some reason the big truck looked like a Clifford, so it became Clifford in the Little Red Trailer.
Clifford, like the big red dog kind of thing.
But in our bio, it's actually our link, and it's linktr.ee/J's with the 2 Y's _. And again, that'll give you can inquire about catering, you know, not only in the food truck, but just catering spreads, buffets, service styles, and our schedule's there, and all our contact information, all the social media that you can find is there. Yeah.
And what about, you referred to Click at the beginning of the interview. So what is the affiliation with Click? What do you
So
do
we
there?
are a full-time member there. There's a bunch of different catering companies that work out of there, and basically it just gives, you know, businesses like us who don't have a brick and mortar the opportunity to do what we do. You know, it's obviously not okay to cook out in your house. You know, there's rules and regulations of that, and even though I know my house is clean as a whistle.
Me too.
But
I eat off my floor, don't you?
That's right.
I do.
Pick it up 5 seconds later.
I don't eat an animal.
But yeah, so it's been just that was really just a great start. You know, it got told to us, and we tried to get in the beginning, but they were in the middle of switching management, and then we were finally able to connect with Denise, and the ball of joy she is great, and she's helped us with so much. She's helped put us out there. If there's a catering gig that, you know, other members couldn't do, she was contacting us. They do their local Eats and Beats events. I believe they were doing it the second Friday of every month. So it's help us grow, and, you know, they're working with the town a little bit more, so the town contacts them, and do you have, or, you know, and when we first got there, I think there was one food truck who had just bought their food truck, and I believe now there's 6 of us.
Wow. That's amazing.
In a matter of a year, it's crazy, but I mean, they just do so much, and they have all our information, and they pass on all our information, and, you know, it's
very supportive community.
Very supportive.
Yeah, very helpful. And I'll be tapping into the people who also work and serve there too. So you make product there on site, and then that way it ensures that the food is transported, it's safe, everybody's going to be healthy, all that kind of good stuff, right?
Yep. And everything, you know, we do all of our fresh produce and everything there, our sauces and whatnot, and, you know, we get to mold in the empanadas and roll in the egg rolls by hand, and, you know, it's, so much fun. And, you know, then we put them in the trailer, and we get up and we get going.
Well, tell me a little bit about some of the challenges you've had. Now, I think I read somewhere about your little red trailer had a boo-boo.
Oh,
Right?
yes, that did have a boo-boo. That was definitely a challenge, but, accidents happen.
Yeah.
Nobody got hurt. And, luckily even our little red trailer didn't take too bad of a beating. Couple boo-boos. But, it's happened. Again, we're all new food trucks. And sometimes you go to park and one thing leads to another and, it got a boo-boo. But we were able to actually, get it off of the ground. And once we realized there was no major internal damage and that we were able to use it, we wanted to make sure that we set up getting it fixed around all these great events. We just was manually jacking it up and pulling it around. I put a couple of construction Band-Aids over the boo-boos for a little while, but they flew off in the rain. And now we're just, waiting for somebody to find the same red as my trailer. But it's a pretty red, and I don't know if we'll find it again.
Oh, you'll find it.
Hopefully. But, besides that, our biggest challenge even would be just adapting to everything. In the beginning, like you said, with being in our trays, we were doing so well there, and then it was a matter of we were getting so big that we needed to be in a commercial kitchen. We needed to have an establishment. We needed a lot more. And, everywhere's different. Coming from Colorado, the rules and regulations out there are completely different from out here. Completely different.
Yeah, that's like coming from one country to another practically.
Crazy. And it's only, same United States.
Same U.S., yeah.
It's, so things that we were able to do with our licensing over there were just not okay over here. And, it pushed us to find Click. And Click just brought us bigger. And we invested in our tent. And then, we're grateful that we found a trailer. And now we're in this trailer. And it's, so as much as it's been a challenge, it's also been one of our biggest accomplishments is, being a part of this and growing. And it's probably happened a lot faster than we expected.
Well, yeah, it's kind of been exponential maybe in a way.
Yes.
Well, you are not the only face of Jay's. Brag a little bit about the people that work with you and come alongside you and help you make all that good food that I'm like drooling about.
My family.
Yeah, so brag a little bit about your people.
They're great. I mean, most of the time I don't even have to brag about them because they, we're faces of this town. My dad himself, he was a recreational coach, and so he knows and has coached a lot of the kids who are now either graduated high school, coached me, coached my little sister. So
I did not know
he's
that.
known, by so many people locally. And then you have my mother as well, working from UConn and also being a part of the community and always tagging along with my dad. And their faces are just so well known that sometimes people come into the trailer, Corrine, is this you? This is your thing? So, and, they're just, it's crazy because, all the different generations. My sister also goes by Jay. And so sometimes she gets her generation of friend groups that's like, this is yours. No, it's my sister. But we're all known for it. We're all like a part of it. And then, I'm a co-owner with my wife, Tamara. I like to call her the face because to me, I'm like, keep me to the cooking. I don't want to answer no questions. I don't want to do this. And somehow everyone makes their way to the tail end of the trailer with that flyer for me. And I got to accept it anyways. But no, they're just great. They're very helpful. Even when I ask for their opinion, again, we spoke about it. They're just so trustworthy that they just kind of go by me. I've always talked about this. This has always been kind of, we laugh and say it's my mom's retirement, which hopefully one day it would be. And it's just something we all do. We went from my mom always making the same meals every week, week in, week out with no flavor, out of the box, out of the thing. And,
But we still love her.
We do, but, after losing my grandmother and everything, she ended up taking to the kitchen, and I don't know what, but she went crazy, and food just became a different light. It was more enjoyable. Her heart went into it, and it made my heart want to go into everything I do. And like I said, cooking channel is always on the TV, and so to brag about somebody, my mother is a lot of the reason why I am why I am, why I want to eat what I want to eat, why I have the ideas that I do. And, it's a great, and, but if it wasn't for her help and, even older generations, they know those tricks that you just don't. And her heart goes into them empanadas. I'm telling you, she doesn't like that we admit it, but she is the woman behind the empanadas, and you can't mold enough for the community, and it's great.
And there you go. Well, you have to tell us well, a little bit more about your spices and sauces, because that's something new since I talked to you last. So what is that line of whatever you have there?
Yeah, so we make all our own homemade spices and sauces. We actually are just learning about a certain licensing that we can add to our truck that'll actually teach us a little bit more of jarring sauces properly, because we get a lot of excitement in our sauces. Every sauce that comes off the truck, unless it's ketchup or mustard, is homemade. And it's funny because I've got a lot of people who will order a side of fries and be like, do you have mayonnaise? Do you have ketchup? And I'm always like, I don't carry the basic condiments in this truck. I'm starting to, just because I realize everyone likes ketchup.
Brand of stuff, huh?
Yeah, and so, I make my own taco seasoning, my own Italian seasoning. We have a smoky barbecue rub, which a lot of people really like because, I took the time to find a dry Worcestershire. I took a dry molasses, dry smoke, anything that I would put in a regular sauce. I had to find the dry version of it because my sauce is such a big hit.
Otherwise it'll be all runny if you're adding liquid stuff, right?
So we got that. We've got our jerk. A Cajun spice, and just anything. And as we go and we make our specials, if there's a certain sauce that might pair well with it, we try to jazz it up a little bit and make a little bit better version of the sauce.
Where can people buy the spices and stuff like that?
Same link as mentioned before.
Same, okay.
Yep. Right. There'll be a little tab right under where our schedule and catering is that says, spices, and they can place their orders there. We're actually going to, since we've been so busy, we're going to try to start bulking up during the slower days and actually start carrying them on the trailer so that way, they are readily available.
Oh, okay.
We're hoping to one day do kind of like a spice giveaway coming up soon. Hopefully that we'll be able to do a menu, which every menu item will incorporate one of these spices. Right. And if you're a fan of it, you know what I mean, we'll have it available then. Some customers will win some of the spices as we go. And we're also bringing back our cookies. Everyone was obsessed with the cookies.
Okay, so what are the flavors of your cookies? What's coming up?
So right now, I nailed the sugar cookies and the chocolate chip cookies. But the chocolate chip cookies are such a hit because I don't just use butter and eggs and stuff like that. I actually don't use butter or eggs at all.
Don't give your secrets away.
I won't give it away,
yeah,
but it is the only thing that is not vegan about these cookies is the chocolate chips. Oh. And that's only because I can't find vegan chocolate chips in mini morsels in bulk. But if I could, this would be 100% vegan chocolate chip cookie, and I think that's what people like about it. It doesn't give you that over sweetness. Yep. It's soft, it's chewy, and it's been a hit.
So cookies are coming.
Cookies are coming.
Oh, I'm relieved to hear that. Thank you so much, because you have to balance the salty and the crunchy and all those other things with a little something sweet at the end, right?
Yes.
That sounds awesome. I would just eat the dough raw.
Okay, that's a hard thing not to do.
It truly is. I know when I make cookies, I usually make a double batch. One batch is for baking and one is for eating raw.
There you go.
At your leisure.
Yep.
Well, I am so grateful that you are here early this morning to talk about Jay's. I'm here with Jay Riera, Chef Jay and co-owner of Jay's. You will find her on social media along with her team of wonderful people bringing you great food. This is Ravings and Cravings. Have a good rest of your evening.